Okay. Um, so I was trying to figure out because I wanted to do a reading. And I was saying that the number seven is significant in the number nine, and I see 777 and nine. Um, and then we have the King of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. That makes sense. The Eight of Swords, the Three of Cups, the Ace of Swords. So what I was thinking, so I don't know if you've noticed, but um, gas prices, at least in my neighborhood, have gone down. I've been watching the gas prices just because I think it's interesting the way that things are working there, and I think it's a good representation of where we're at. And I think the fact that it's gone down is actually a really good sign, because it's more affordable than it has been. It's been around like 211, 210 for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and now it's at 186. Um, so I thought that was something that was really good. And today is the first day that I'm hearing about a recession happening. And the Seven of Swords has been coming out a lot. The No card with the Creator has been following me for a while. And the Eight of Swords tends to come out a lot as well. What I was thinking, and I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news. I don't really go on social media. Um, and look at things that have to do with the news. So I rarely know what's going on. Sorry. I know that that can seem like I'm just being tapped out, but I think it's best for my mental health, and I think it's better for yours as well. And one thing that I am noticing is that I don't think people are realizing that we are in a better place than, I think people think we're worse off than we are. And I think that a lot of the fear and the anxiety is man made, and is being manipulated. So there's this thing right now. I mean, we're on the other end, the other side of COVID. And I sometimes wear my mask, but I don't do it because I'm afraid. I wear my mask sometimes because I'm doing it to make other people comfortable. Because I can personally recognize that there is still a lot of COVID anxiety and sickness anxiety. And as much as I am not afraid of the coronavirus, and I think that we are on the other side, I still understand that it's still a thing and it's going to be a thing, but I'm not afraid of it. I do recognize that people are traumatized. And so if wearing a mask makes somebody else comfortable who still holds a lot of fear in their heart, I'm okay to do that because I would rather try and take care of somebody in a way that I can through wearing my mask um, than putting them in a situation where they're going to feel anxious. So, what I'm feeling is that right now would be a really great time to start investing in your community and investing in your friends and your family and your relationships, in your social relationships. Now is not a time to isolate yourself. I have been feeling in my gut, in my stomach, that, the big leaders in our world and the people who make impact, whether we know their names or not and see their faces or not, want us to be isolated from each other. And there is this big push to, place a lot of morality around isolation. If you're still wearing your mask and if you're still social distancing and if you're still being careful and not going outside and things like that, you are more morally aligned with goodness, and you have a bigger heart and you are a better person, right? And if you are fearful, you are good, right? Because if you're afraid, then you're paying attention. If you're not afraid, you're not paying attention, you know? There's a lot of ties between morality and fear and morality and isolation. And because the world that we live in right now is really heavy on, morality being also aligned with your social mobility. And so how you appear and what other people perceive your morals to be and where you stand morally and whether you are ethical, or whether you are considered a good person, also decides where you stand in terms of your humanity and what you deserve and what you have access to and what your rights are. And so, especially socially and especially on social media. And I think that there's going to be, I am personally not so worried about a recession. I have been honestly feeling like things are going to be really good. And you know why I think that is because I'm tapping into the energy of the earth and the energy that I'm pulling from source, rather than making my assumptions about the future based on what I see online and what I see in the media. I've seen a lot of people, saying they need to tap out from social media and all of these things like that. And I think that that's a really good idea. I think that if you're feeling pulled to step away, I really think you should. And if you're being pulled to reconsider your relationship with social media and with engaging with news in general, I really think you should. I think that we're going to be experiencing a lot of um, overwhelming, information that pushes a lot of us into a corner, and makes a lot of us feel helpless and like our future is going down the drain, when in fact it's actually quite the opposite. I I don't want to say don't worry, but to be completely honest, you guys, like I feel like just try not to isolate yourself. Try not to let the anxiety that is being pushed onto you. Try and ask yourself if the anxiety that you're feeling is actually, and if it actually belongs to you, and if it is something that you feel because there's genuinely something wrong, genuinely something triggering you, or if that is something that has been given to you. I've said time and time again in these videos that the telepathic bonds that we have are going to become more and more important. And I was talking about just in this most recent video, one of these most recent videos, that we were going to start to have boundaries with our telepathic communication, and making sure that what we were downloading was something that we wanted to have in our brains, in our minds, in our psyche, and whether the information that we thought we were receiving was actually whether we're really understanding what we're receiving. Because as we're going through this awakening and more people are tapping in and beginning to understand their relationship, their psychic relationship to the universe and relationship to the spiritual realm, we're all going to just start playing in that world a little bit more often. And we already are quite, psychically present, but we're going to be more intentionally present. And that's going to leave, right now it's a lot of open doors. There's not a lot of boundaries, right? It's kind of like the digital world. Where I was just saying in another video, like in the digital world, stalking is so common, and it just is what it is, and there's no boundaries around it. That's just normal. In the psychic world, that can become an issue as well, as kind of things just seeping into your energy and people just placing things onto you and just giving things to you that you might not necessarily want, or you might not even realize, you might not even know who's given it to you, and it just becomes very messy. With the Seven of Swords coming out, it just feels like illusion is going to be a big thing. And I guess this makes sense because we are in Cancer season, and Cancer is entering Mercury, which to me is a good thing, because I'm like, yay, let's communicate through our, intuition and our emotions and things like that. But it can also kind of become murky and confusing. And I would just honestly say that I don't really feel like there's much to worry about. And I feel like all of the things that are coming up are it's just an illusion. It's just distractions. And illusion does not mean it's not real. It just means that you don't have to engage with it if you don't want to, because you decide how tangible it becomes in your life, right? And this is not to say, stop paying attention and don't listen to whatever's going on out there, but I didn't know that there was a conversation around a recession until today. And I'm not engaging with that energy, and so it's not going to be an issue in my life. Because I don't care. I'm not engaging with it because I'm starting I think we need to really start understanding that a lot of these things don't have to become a problem. Right now, we're just getting a lot thrown at us, and they're seeing what sticks, what we care about, what triggers us, what makes us scared, right? Because we're not afraid of COVID anymore. So now there needs to be something else to be afraid of. Before COVID, it was politics. It was all the political leaders. It was Donald Trump. It was what was happening with police brutality. There's always something that's triggering us and making us afraid. But COVID took over for 2 years, and then now that COVID's kind of on the other end, now we have Roe v. Wade being overturned, right? And I'm sure, and we had mass shootings coming back for a while, and that was just like, you see, like, the amount of triggering that is happening and the amount of violence that they're throwing at us to keep us in an isolated and scared state where we are very dependent on these overarching systems to take care of us and to protect us. Now is not a time to go backwards. The reason why all of these things are now coming up, and now, now we're going into a recession and making people afraid, especially, and it's no, I don't think that it's a coincidence that now there's conversations about a recession more seriously, as there's also the Great Resignation, and people are having more financial freedom, and people are creating their own businesses and really taking risks and taking leaps of faith and trusting in the universe and working and building on their dreams, and not, being so tied to, what is secure and what is traditional and what feels safest. People are taking risks, and people are investing in themselves and investing in community, and I think that that is the right decision. And I think that don't let any of the scary and bad things that are coming up right now push you backwards. Just ignore it. I hate to say that because I feel like I'm being irresponsible, but I also don't. Because I would never say anything. This is exactly what I'm doing. I would never say to do anything that I felt like was actually a bad thing. But I don't feel like any of these things are actually going to be a problem for most of us. I really don't. Like, I think that obviously if a recession happens, it's going to affect people. And so obviously we're going to want to take care of each other, and we want to be there for each other and be supportive. But that's why we're investing in community, right? That's why we are all trying to really grow strong social relationships with people that we connect with our friends, with our family, in business and things like that, and investing in things that we care about, because we're understanding that, what you're passionate about is what ends up feeding you and lasts longer than anything else. Yeah, this is actually a time of abundance. And I think that, all of these discussions that feel like they're coming from a place of lack, and scarcity in not a good way, it's not our own energy. That is the energy of people in power who are starting to answer for their crimes. That is the karma for people in power, and they're trying to push it and like project that onto us. We are not in a state of scarcity. We're in a state of abundance. I was talking about just like a week or two ago about the fact that this wheel of change had been spinning for a while, and now it's slowing down, and karma is beginning to be distributed. So over the next few months, we're going to, and probably the next few years, honestly, we're just going to see justice. And justice was the card that came out when I asked what I should be doing this reading about. And we have the Knight here. Be brave and honest. The Stargazer. Set your sights higher. In spring. See your seeds grow. We have Shaman. Trust in the higher forces. Shalom, Master. Be graceful in movement and action. And Oracle. Wait for important information. Time to reflect. Surround yourself with... Yeah. There's a need to slow down. Tune out all the noise. Turn inward and turn up towards your guides and to spirit. Don't engage with all the shit. I just don't think that I think it's bullshit, if I'm being completely honest. I think we're in a really good place. I think that obviously we're going to have struggles. I mean, we are in a state of massive change. But I don't think we're heading into like the depths of hell. You know what I mean? And I think that anything that is trying to push that energy onto us is trying to make us share their own grief. The burdens that, people in power who have exploited the masses and the public have to face, that is for them to face alone. And they will not be able to turn any of their own karma onto us, but they're going to try, and they're going to try through these narratives of suffering and lack and isolation that they're trying to push onto people. And I really just think that you should try and tune out the noise, and anytime you hear any information that feels scary, consult with whatever you believe in. Consult with your gut, consult with God, consult with your ancestors, consult with yourself. I mean, I don't know, it's whatever you believe in, but I don't really feel like you should trust what you hear in the media so much, It's just a lot of trigger games. And it's just people in power reacting to their own karma. It doesn't really have anything to do with us. They're just trying to engage us because they don't want to go through this alone, because they don't want to deal with the responsibility that they have over their actions. And so they're trying to make it seem like this is like some big world event when this is really their own bullshit. And it does feel worldly, and it is kind of worldly because they are the people who have for so long ran the world. But as we've all continued to step closer and deeper into our power and connect more with ourselves and therefore more with our communities around us, we've began to disengage with these big systems. And not in a way of like, outright revolution and rebellion. It's been in small ways, but overall, less and less people are relying on these systems. And they're becoming quite obsolete. On whole, like, these systems are becoming useless, and many people are finding ways to make a way for themselves and to protect and ensure safety for their families without having to rely on the government and on these other systems of power and these, big companies, because we realize they don't care about us and they're never really helping us. So I would say don't let this stuff get to you, to be completely honest. I think that we are in a position of power right now, and it's felt by the people who are on the down end, who are receiving their karma, and that karma it's a lot, and it's probably not the most amazing thing ever. And so there's this need to use this Seven of Swords energy, which is like trickery and it's deception, and it's trying to make us not see ourselves in our truth and not see our own abundance and not see our own growth, and rather see, the changes that are happening in our world as something negative and scary and something to run away from, rather than something that is actually really positive and important. Yeah, they're trying to overwhelm us, and it's all psychological, it's all spiritual. Because when you look at the physical right now, I actually don't think that things are that bad, are they? Not really. Like, yes, we have Roe v. Wade being overturned, but We all knew it was going to happen, didn't we? So none of this is really shocking. And people can move. Things are opening up in the world. You can leave. And the places where Roe v. Wade are being overturned, did you really want to stay there anyways? Like, it's kind of a lot of doors opening that kind of are blessings in disguise, right? Or blessings just outright, very obviously. But everything is about making people feel so overburdened with anxiety that they can't make the changes that they were already planning on making anyways. You know? Yeah. This is the part of awakening that really asks you to trust in your own growth. Trust in the progress that you've already made and have the ability to say no to the psychological and spiritual attacks that are being, pushed onto us via, these fear things, fear tactics with a recession and all of these things. Like, sure, we may be entering a time of financial hardship, but it's not going to destroy us. Look at what we've already overcome. We've literally lived through a pandemic. That's it. It's like I don't know if there's we're unbreakable. We're very resilient as a society on a whole, and that is also being they're also betting on the fact that we are so strong that you're just going to be able to take whatever is thrown at us. And they are weak. So they can't handle even the least bit of karma coming at them, It's too much, which is why they're now trying to push that on us. There's that strength. I think that there's something that's probably going to start really kicking off during Leo season. But sevens, yeah, July is going to be a month, I think, of a lot of, you're just going to need to protect your energy and stand strong in your growth, in your spirit. Yeah, and there's that no card. And be prepared to say no. Have your boundaries, that 9 of Wands energy. Have your boundaries set, because they're going to try and make you feel like you are in that 5 of Pentacles state where you've been left out in the cold, where you're suffering. But you're actually not. You're not there at all. You're actually the sun. It's summertime. People are happy. People are traveling. People are having a good time. Hold on. Ooh. Ugh. This is kind of like a really great test in seeing how much you actually believe in yourself and the work that you've already done. Trust your talents in changing times. Trust the gifts that you've honed in on, your spiritual gifts, your dreams that you've created, the work that you've done over the past few months, over the past 2 years, over the past several years. Trust that as things begin to shift. Change is not a bad thing. Stand your ground. Change is not a bad thing. Change is a really positive thing. Every single one of us should be itching for change. The only people who don't want change are the people that have benefited from the world looking like the way it does. And that's not any of us regular people. That's the people with an overwhelming amount of power and who are greedy and selfish and who control the way that societies and systems function and make it so that people are constantly in suffering and constantly in need of help and constantly feel alone and isolated. Those are the people who are afraid. Those are the people who are now watching this mountain fall down and are fearing for their lives. Meanwhile, like for them, the mountain falling down is like the tower. The mountain falling down is like their house burning down. For us, the mountain falling down is like a blockage moving out of the way. This huge barrier that has kept us from
accessing this beautiful, green, lush, vibrant land with food and water and lovely shelter, kept us from accessing that. And now it's falling down. Change is really positive for us. Change for people who have benefited off of the rest of our suffering, change is bad for them. And they are the ones that choose what news gets out there. So don't give in, you know? We are protected during this time, and this is actually a really good time. Like, when I saw that the gas was so low, I was wondering why people weren't stocking up. I was like, oh, this is really low. But I think that there is something going on with our perception. People aren't able to perceive that we are in a better place than we are, because you look around and you can feel the congested energy, because you're also feeling the karmic energy being distributed to people who are gonna have to work through a lot of shit, and their karmic energy is so heavy that we're feeling it as well, because we're all empathic and we don't have a lot of boundaries. We really need to work on our boundaries. And so we're like, oh, we're in a really bad place, but that's not our energy. That's their energy. You're just feeling their energy. Yeah, we need to embrace the energy of peace. We need to bask in our own joy and our own light. We're in a really good place. We are in a really good place. We are moving forward. And that's a good thing for us. Don't let the energy trick you. Yes, the energy is there. Yes, it's real. What you're feeling is real, but it's not yours. You're feeling other people's energy. Yeah. See beyond the current situation. This is not what you're seeing, and what you're feeling is not all that there is. It's not the full. You're getting a lot without a lot of context. If you want the context, you need to ask questions. This would be a really great time to start developing your spiritual relationships and your own knowing, your own understanding. And we might be receiving some information soon. Yeah, learn, great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences, hold the space, trust in the unknown, oracle, wait for important information. So this is going to be an interesting month. I think July is going to be an interesting month. Yeah, I think we're going to receive a lot of, I don't know, we might have somebody might come forward. We might just have a lot of divine intervention moments, and a lot of miracle moments, and a lot of revelation moments, moments that feel biblical. I think that we're just gonna have a lot of shit coming out that feels like, whoa. And I was saying that the spiritual is becoming more physical, burning bush moments, moments that feel like, I thought this only happened in the Bible, that type of shit. Yeah, a lot of magic in the air. It's just going to become clear that magic is real, that all of these things are real. It's going to become undeniable. Wait for important information. So we're going to receive something. You got to be tapped in. Don't be tapped into social media if it's unhealthy for you. Tap into your own. Right now is a really great time to work on your own stuff. Work through your own shit and make sure that you can hear your own voice clearly. Make sure you can hear your own intuition clearly. Make sure you know how your spirit team communicates with you. Make sure you know how spirit, the universe, speaks to you. See from a higher perspective. Exchange energy to create abundance. Yeah, work with community investment, creative collaborations, friendships, relationships, family relationships, romantic relationships, business partnerships. All things around community collaboration would be really, really awesome. Those are really great places to place your energy. Don't isolate yourself. Now's not a time to... If you are just somebody who works better alone, that's fine, but whatever you're doing, it needs to be something that is also engaging community. It's something that is also engaging a bigger purpose. This is not the time to be super selfish and only be focusing on yourself, and this is also not the time to be super isolated.
and especially not like, especially just like tapping fully into the digital world and disengaging with nature, because there's a lot of healing energy that we can get from just being even outside right now. So try to just go outside and release any stress or anxiety that you feel being put onto you, and remember that that's not your own, and that there's a lot of reasons why people are what they're. You just ask, what is the benefit of, why would these things be coming out? Why would they want us to feel this type of way? I don't know. You just have to ask yourself if what you're feeling is even legitimate. I don't know. I just feel like it's BS. Like, that's how I feel. And I just feel skeptical. Like, I just feel like, why is this even being spoken about? Like, this isn't our thing. This is their thing. They're trying to make it our thing. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about, they need to deal with their own karma. And here we are, like, working through it with them. No, they have to deal with it on their own. They didn't want to help us with anything. This is their karma to work through. Don't take it on for them. Don't feel it for them. Because even you being afraid and taking on some of that anxiety is taking away the anxiety that they need to feel. That's not for us. That's for them. That's for them. That's not for us. Yeah. My original intention, say no. Set your boundaries, for real. There's just like a little bit of a frustrating energy, like a kind of like, like exhausting, exasperated energy where it's just like, like, why are you trying to make me do the work that you're supposed to do? No, it's exploitive. Do not feed into it. These people want you to engage with their own trauma, and it's like, no, sorry. I've actually been doing my healing work. I've actually been moving on. I'm not interested in engaging with you. See? Do not engage with people in power's trauma. They're not even really in power anymore, you guys. Like, it's all over for them. It is over for them. I am like, and try and like make sure you're aware of the way that your energy is being affected. Because I caught myself like having an attitude and being mean to my dad for no reason. And I was like, why am I being such a brat? And I just had to check myself really quick. So try and make sure that you don't let your energy spill into, let this energy that they're pushing onto us spill into our own lives and affect the way that we treat people that we care about. Because you can easily end up taking on this energy that's not yours, taking on this karma that's not yours, because we're such empathic creatures and we are such social creatures. And like I said, community is huge right now. So right now they're relying on community. They're relying on us to take on their shit. So they're like, oh, you know what? Let's just give this out to the public and they'll all find a way to take on some of it, in their own lives. That's what they're doing. And I found it happening to me. I was like, why am I being mean to my dad? For no reason. I just had an attitude. And it was just like, ew, ugly. So, and then it's like a way to try and make you go back in your own growth. Because we've all been doing our growth. We've all been doing our healing work. We've all been taking accountability. Don't let that happen. If it does, take accountability, apologize, check yourself, and move on. But don't take on this energy. It's a very nasty, bitter, just like, ugh. It's just kind of like, it's like an immature, like, energy. It's not cute. It's not cute. It'll make you look at yourself like, what the fuck? And you just have to remember that there's a lot of karma has been distributed. Judgment Day has been happening for a while now, and people are facing it, and the people who are trying to run from it are trying to spread it out to everybody else. It's not going to happen. So it might touch you. And if you don't have a lot of boundaries, energetic boundaries, or if you're just a little bit more open and, feeling things, then you might end up taking on some. But just if you feel that you're taking it on, quickly get rid of it. Push it out. Work through it. Address it. And I mean, there are reasons why you
your energy would even be able to take it on, you know? So then you need to address that, and there's a good opportunity for you to just work through something that's come up, but don't let it sit there because that's not for you. We have the Empress and the Emperor energy, but I think this Emperor energy is like these people in power. They've been turned on their head. It's over for them. And you know what? When the Ten of Pentacles first came out, what I immediately thought was, because it talks about family inheritance and property, and what I immediately thought was that, like, I thought about reparations. I thought about Indigenous people, specifically here in Canada, and the way, like, the land back movement. I was thinking, can even think about, you know, land back movements that are happening in South Africa because of with the end of apartheid, and, you know, wanting justice and wanting to receive the land that, you know, was taken, and giving land back to, you know, the black people there who are, like, living in townships. Meanwhile, white people own, like, a majority of the land there, and they're not even using most of it. And so people are just starting to build, you know, homes there and not care, because it's just like, fuck you. I feel like there is just some type of, I don't know, like, independence, freedom, justice being brought to, like, family lines, generational lines. There's just, with this lack of engagement with these systems and this lack of care, when you don't care, when you don't give a fuck, when you don't give this news any attention, it loses its power over you. It loses its power over the masses. I'm telling you, if none of us gave a fuck about what they were saying about Roe v. Wade, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Everybody knows that abortions exist for a reason, and that people are going to get abortions no matter what, because there's going to be a situation in which you cannot have a child. You just can't, and you don't want to. And they're trying to get us to engage with them to legitimize these systems. What is the Supreme Court? You know, what is America's political system? They're a mess. They had Donald Trump as their president. Like, they're a mess. You know, they're having mass shootings every other day. Why are we considering anything that these politicians talk about legitimate? Nobody gives a fuck what they're saying. Nobody cares. Who gives them power? Stop engaging with them. Stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. They tried to make it seem like Roe v. Wade and abortions were illegal No, it's just now that the head of the governments in each state get to decide and blah, blah, move. People are already leaving the states. People are already leaving. Do you know how many, I went to Tulum, do you know how many Americans are there? People are already gone. Like, and it's gonna, as the more remote work that happens, the more people are gonna be leaving America. America's population is overwhelmingly old. The young people are not having kids. So, like, just, you have to remember, like, these systems are desperate for us to engage with them. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Stop engaging. Stop worrying about what they say. What they say doesn't matter. Recession, okay. Considering what? How is that going to affect all of us? If we've all quit our jobs and blah, 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 and nobody's engaging with these big companies, how is that really our problem? That's your problem. That's a recession for you. The rest of us are fine. Like, you just don't let it, it's all spiritual mental attacks. Don't engage. Don't engage. I'm telling you. There is a rebirth happening for the people. The people are getting justice. Families are getting justice. All of these big, powerful families that have stolen property, that have exploited people, that have made their money off of the backs of people's oppression, all of them are getting their justice. There is a lot around family because, you know, there's a lot around generations who have been oppressed getting their justice, but there's also a lot around these big, powerful families that are going to be receiving their karma. And what that shows up like, you know, I don't know how that's going to show up for everybody, and I don't care. I'm choosing not to engage with their energy because that's got nothing to do with me. I am invested in the people's empowerment. I'm invested in people's joy and pleasure and our own growth. But what happens with these people and their karma is their business. That's not for us to worry about. We don't have to worry about that. We've got our own joy and abundance to live in and thrive in. But as they're, you know, if you're already receiving and feeling their karmic justice energy, then that means that we've already also received our abundance. We've also already received the doors opening and the opportunity in the new spaces. The rebirth is already happening. right? But we're so mixed up in their energy because there's so much of it. And because they're world powers, they get to spread things around that are theirs and act like it's for everybody when it's bad, but not when it's good. And so we are not even focusing on our abundance because we're too mixed in with their shit. And it's creating blockages and barriers for us because we have all of this positive shit, but right now it's like you're scooped up in their stuff that you can't see. You can't see. It's an illusion. It's a mirage. Don't engage. Just ignore them. Just pull out. Pull away. It's got nothing to do with you. And if it does, work through what you can and then move forward. But don't run from it. Running from it is the last thing you want to do. When I say don't engage, I'm not saying run from the truth. I'm saying don't engage with things that do not serve you. If it's going to affect you, it's going to affect you. What is why are you tapping into the news every day to learn about whether you're in a recession or not? Who cares? How is that going to help? What is that going to do? Nothing. We've just got to ask these questions, you know? Yeah. There's definitely a Ten of Swords energy. There's something around family. There is something around family and the Ten of Swords and this Justice energy. Oh my god. Anxiety, worry, anxiety. Oh, it's just all this anxiety. Yeah. I mean, well, and then look at how many pregnancies there's been. Look how many people are pregnant. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's good. It's positive. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. There's so many pregnant people. I see them everywhere, and even just celebrities. So many babies are coming into the world. That's a gift. That's a beautiful gift. And so then, of course, around the same time, here comes this Roe v. Wade conversation. It's just come on. It's they're getting so sloppy. They're getting so sloppy with the attacks. They're not even trying to cover up the connections anymore. It's just girl, I do not care. We do not need to be invested, you guys. Disengage. I feel like that's it, right? Yeah, we've got a lot of success coming, a lot of changes coming, a lot of positive energy coming in. A lot of honesty and clarity and truth is going to be coming through. That Oracle card didn't come out for no reason. I was thinking about the Queen of Swords. That Oracle card didn't come out for the Three of Cups keeps coming out. I don't know what it is. Oh. Love is in the air. Yeah, intuition, a lot of spiritual downloads and upgrades. A lot of visionaries are coming through. There's going to be some big teacher coming through. Big person coming through who's going to create a big shift. It's going to be a coupling, a reuniting. Soul families reuniting. That was something I was speaking about a few weeks ago. Some of this, there's going to be a lot of divine masculine healing. I was also speaking about that. A lot of emotional connections. A lot of really strong and powerful relationships people coming together. Reunite and it feels so good. Not reuniting with your ex, but past lives, soulmates, reuniting with your soul family. You haven't seen these niggas since you were creating your soul plan, and now y'all are meeting up again, and it's celebration, party, celebrate good times, come on, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good time. Don't engage with their bullshit. I can't even, I'm annoyed that I even am doing this reading, so I'm just fuck them. They're trying to make us, it's like the people in a group project that didn't want to do any of their work, and the teacher, and then you find out that the teacher's actually grading everybody separately, and now they're pissed because they know they're about to fail. Girl, you should have done your work. The rest of us are thriving. Don't let them make you feel any different, okay? People have graduated. People are having babies. People are starting their own business. People are in love. People are following their dreams. Look,
We're having like a shining light coming down to earth. What is this? I already know what I think it is, but I'm not about to tell y'all. So I know what I think this is talking about, but I'm not going to say it. Tap into spirit and ask yourself. No, but seriously, you should be working on your relation. And not, if you don't believe in spirit, that's totally okay. But you should be working on your own intuition. Just building that up yourself. I know what I think that's about. Y'all gonna have to figure it out yourself. But there is something coming. There is something coming. Woo! What is going on? Yeah, we're all like, you guys, we're in a good place. We're in a good place. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm not. If I was worried, I would tell you. I'm not. I'm not worried. So, you can let them scare you, but I'm telling you, there's literally nothing to be afraid of. You know what I've been reading? Oh, you know what? Because you know what I've been realizing lately? So I've been really trying to remember that energy is everything. So when I'm in a situation that I might perceive as scary, I just think about how do I actually feel right now? And if I don't actually feel scared, then I know that I'm not in danger. Because energy will tell you whether you're in danger or not. If you feel scared, you probably are in danger. But if you don't actually feel scared and maybe you feel anxious, but you only feel anxious because you think you're supposed to feel anxious. Do you actually feel anxious, or do you just think that you're supposed to feel anxious so you feel anxious? Because they're very different, Like, I've had a few situations recently, like, where I've been catcalled. Like, today, I was walking, and this guy was yelling at me. Yelling, and he had stopped his car and everything, yelling, telling me to come here. It was like a situation that, in any other circumstance, I would have been afraid. But girl, I just tapped into my energy, and I was like, "Am I afraid?" And like asking, like as if I'm asking, "Am I safe?" Girl, I wasn't afraid, so I kept it moving. And you know what? I wasn't in fucking danger. I trusted in that. I don't feel like we are in danger, you guys. I don't think we're in danger. Okay? I think that things are going to happen. Things are going to go down that were always going to happen, because there is no such thing as a, perfect utopia all year round. Like, of course, bad things happen. But on the whole, we're in a really good place. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them trick you. We're in a really good place. And start to really ask yourself, do I feel safe? Am I safe? Am I okay? Or are they just trying to make me feel like I'm not okay? Like, I was in the Value Village today, and this guy came up to me, and he was talking to me, and blah, blah, blah. And at first, I was, like, on my guard, because I was like, men are talking to me, like, men can be scary. But then I was like, am I actually afraid, or have I just been taught to be afraid of him? And, so then I realized I wasn't afraid. So I just, I didn't want to engage with him too much, because I was just having my own time. But I didn't put in an energy that felt anxious. So I was able to just kind of flow with it. And he wasn't a mean person at all. He was actually very sweet. And when I said no, he walked away, and he was kind. And that is the thing about energy. So first of all, this is a few things, because don't let the past influence how you react to new situations. Because there was, I had to check in with myself and be like, am I afraid of this person, or am I just defensive, And do I have a reason to be defensive? No, I don't. And I am somebody who is always kind of a little bit afraid of men, just because of trauma, and, it's understandable, but I don't want to be afraid of men. And I'm not really interested in living my life like that for the rest of my life. So I've been asking myself a lot recently, am I actually afraid? Is there anything actually wrong? Is this person just trying to talk to me and they just happen to be a man? You know what I mean? And doing that a lot more often has made me have a better relationship and a better energy around men, because I no longer feel scared. I no longer feel like I am on the attack. I'm about to be attacked all the time, which is good, because it's not nice to feel in danger all the time. It's really not great. I don't want to feel like that. Oh, I just saw Spirit confirm that. I just saw yes flip over, and then it just went back. Spirit was just like, I just wanted to say yes. The Stark is coming out, you guys. I know exactly. I'm not gonna say it if I. But yeah, safety. Reclaim your sense of safety. Okay, you are okay. Six of Cups keeps turning over. Some type of reconciliation. Something from the past, childhood, dreams, soulmates. Hey. Yeah, but some type of King of Wands about to bring in a Tower moment. Every time I see this, I think of Beyonce. Don't you? B is back, bitches, and she's coming back. I mean, she's already here. She did Break My Soul, and we have the album coming out, The Renaissance, on July something, 20 something. I'm very, very excited. Dancing, music. Very, very, very happy. And what is it? Disco. What is it? House. All of this positive, upbeat, beautiful music. And even if I don't really love the songs, it doesn't matter because I love the frequency. I love the energy. I love the vibe. And there is a very, very important new wave of energy here. It's already here. Tap in. You're not tapped in. You're in the other energy. The other energy is here. There's good energy here. Don't let them make you think the only energy here is bad. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Because in tarot, the sevens can be tricky. Because the sevens in the minor arcana can kind of be like, meh, you know. It's kind of energy that I just consider like, meh. But in the major arcana, the seven is the Chariot. It's movement. It's Beyonce. It's Cancer. Hello. Positive energy. Which seven are you tapping into? It's the same with the 9. You can get the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. Or you could get the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. Or you could get the Moon. Or you could get the Hermit. You know what I mean? Tap in. Ooh, another 7. The Tower. Y'all. Oh, there's a tower right there. And what's on top of that? The Ace of Pentacles, which is about property. There's something around like land back. Like people are about to be getting homes. People are about to be getting property, land. I am going to absolutely include myself in that. Just getting a little land and period. Y'all, I'm not going to say nothing, but that star card is just giving the second coming. Like, I don't know. It's just giving, like, Jesus or something. I don't know. But, only in the most positive and beautiful ways. Just, like, there's just gonna be a lot of big new ideas. New visions coming. Big changes. You are not born during a basic time. If you are alive on Earth during this time, you are in for a wild ride. Here's another 7. Oh my god, which side are you gonna go? Challenge or courage? Meet your challenges with courage. I was going to say challenge or change. Challenge or courage. Ooh, it's just like 7 of Wands is just like the 2 of Swords, kind of. At least that's what it makes me feel like. Anyways, I feel like I'm ready to go. This is also, you can consider this a message from the angels, because that was my original energy when I got these cards. Here's the 4 of Pentacles. My god, that 10 of Pentacles continues to come out. We're about to be getting something around land, like grounding in your financial security. Grounding in your financial security. Savings, stability, new money. Do the work. Guardian angel, earth and ground. I feel like there's actually no more work to be done, if you ask me. Ease and grace. That made me think of the Shalom Master. I don't feel like there's like, what work is there to be done?
Composure. Yeah, this is about having your boundaries. When you're feeling a lot of the heat, when you're feeling the pressure, have your composure. Don't let that energy take over and mess you up. Like me, with me being mean to my dad. For what? Have composure, have your boundaries, have it together. Show the work that you've been doing. You have been doing your healing work. They can't easily flip you. They can't easily get you. They can't push that onto you. Show the work that has been done. You've already done the work. Ground yourself in your new beginning. Ground yourself in your new reality. They're trying to hold on to the past and trying to make us all hold on to the past. Nuh-uh. We are in a new world. We are in harmony with the new timeline. Get in harmony with the new timeline. Yeah, there's been so many signs, and the signs have all been in nature. The signs are right in front of you. You just need to be present. Don't let them pull you back to the past. We are in a new space. We've already shifted. The abundance is already here. There's no more waiting. It's already here. It's just about you tapping into it. Romance and connection. It's already here. There's no work to be done in terms of moving. You're already moved. You already shifted. You've done everything that needs to be done. You just need to be in harmony with it. You need to accept it. You need to allow it in. Spiritual growth and divine timing. It just makes me think that we're in alignment. We're already in alignment. You're just feeling all the energies, and you need to get your boundaries up. You need to get your boundaries up so that you're not letting these, other people's karma be perceived as your own karma. Do not you need to be able to identify what is your karma versus their karma. Don't let them make you think that their karma is your karma. Our karma is miracles. Our karma are the miracles. Yeah, take a step back and just, take a step back into your blessings and your abundance and get out of their goddamn energy. Yes. Okay, I have to go because the way my nose is stuffed. Anyways, it's because I'm overwhelmed. Too much energy. Don't worry about them, you guys. Take a step back. Yeah, let me get off this thing. Okay, bye.